Hey now Brawlers, my name is Nick, this is Board Game Brawl, and today we're going to take a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter called Twistosity. This is from Mass Middle Games and designer Michael Keeley. And if you're interested in the game, I'm going to have a link to the campaign at the bottom of your screen and down in the comments section. So do go and check out the campaign, and if you're interested, consider pledging. Now what is Twistosity? This is a party card game where you are trying to say tongue twisters. On your turn, you're going to draw a card and immediately try to say whatever is on that card as quickly as possible, and of course these are not easy things to say, but if you can say it perfectly, you're going to get a point, and the first person to 10 points is going to win the game. But even if you fail, you'll at least get some twist cards, and twist cards are going to let you not only pull off some cool actions that might help you win the game, it might force you or the other players to say those tongue twisters in a very, very funny manner. So before I say any more, let's go ahead and take a brief look at how the game is played. Then we're going to come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, I'm going to give you a very brief overview of Twistosity. This is a competitive card game where the goal is to successfully say tongue twisters and score points. The first person to get to 10 points is going to be the winner. Now, if you like what you see in this preview, you can go ahead and click on the link at the bottom of the screen, which will take you to the official Kickstarter page where the game is currently seeking funding. There will also be a link down in the comments section. And one thing I need to stress here is that this is just a prototype copy of the game. The full version of the game is going to have full artwork on the fronts and backs of the cards, so obviously these are just blank on the back right now. Most of the text is going to be the same, but there may actually be additional cards that are unlocked during the campaign, so please keep that in mind as you watch this. I'll also flash some images of the final card art as we proceed through the overview. Now, the turn structure is very simple in this game. On your turn, you're going to draw a card off of the tongue twister stack, read the tongue twister immediately, right away. You cannot hesitate, and try to say it perfectly. If you say it perfectly according to the rest of the players, then two things are going to happen. One is that you're going to get to take that tongue twister card and score it as a point, so you'll keep it in front of you. First one to 10 points is the winner. Or when the deck of tongue twisters runs out, whoever has the most points will be the winner at that point. And then also you're going to be able to take two of these twist cards. Twist cards are like special cards that are going to give you bonuses. There's two different types, action cards and persona cards, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But having them is very helpful for doing better in future turns. If you fail, if you stumble over your words, if you don't say everything perfectly, then you're not going to get the point. This will just get discarded, and you're allowed to take one twist card. So you get a consolation prize, even though you weren't able to successfully complete the tongue twister. So I'm just going to give you an example of how a turn might go. So it's my turn. I'm going to draw this card, and when I'm ready, I'm going to flip it over and read it. So here we go. I'm going to do it right now. And begin. Chips, ship, shape, ship, ship to chips, shops on the ship, shop, strip. Hey, that was pretty good. I think I did pretty good on that one. Sorry, I know you can't see it very well, but there's that text on the card. Like I said, these cards are going to have full artwork in the final version of the game. So let's just say that I went ahead and completed that successfully. So I'll do that, and then I'll also, I'm going to take two from here because I have some examples on the top. And those are my twist cards. And then that's that. I'll give you a couple other examples as well. Here we go. All right. Phantasm's protoplasm from... okay, see, I screwed up. I chickened out. So there's that. I only get one twist card for having done that. I'll do a couple others because I know you guys like to see me humiliate myself. All right, here we go. Shallow sea, scallops, cool... as you can tell, I'm not great at this. I'm going to do one more. Okay. Lens, lighter, lit the lanterns, lid, light. Got it. Nailed it. That's an easy one. I score a point, and I get a couple of twist cards. So those are just some examples of some of the tongue twisters that you're going to find in this deck. Now let's take a look at some of these twist cards that I alluded to earlier. So there's two different types of twist cards. One of them are the persona cards. And persona cards you're going to be able to play on other people or potentially yourself if you think it's going to help you perform one of the tongue twisters in order to either help yourself or to trip up the other players. And it's going to make them say and act in a different way when they do the tongue twister. So for the persona the Count, that person has to speak like a Transylvanian vampire and end with and then you I can't even do it. It'd be ridiculous. You'd have to say like shallow seas, scallops, gold, slow, sand, slugs. So there's the Count. Another example, we have the teaser trailer. So you have to speak in your best movie trailer voice and start with In a world where shallow sea scallops scold slow sand slugs. But you have to do it faster than that, I think. And then the last one I'll show you for the personas is surf and turf. So you have to talk like a gnarly surfer, and I'll do a new one for this one. I'll be like, you have to start with dude and end with whoa. So, dude, Swank Hank ship rank sank when Swank Hank walked the ship's dank plank. Whoa. So there's an example of that. Now, the other type of card that's in the Twist deck are action cards. And action cards are going to be able to either give you a boost in the game or trip up one of the other players. So you have cards like Deja Vu. You use this on another player, and the current player must reread their successfully read Tongue Twister in order to score the game point. So it's making them do it all over again in order to score that point. You have Eye on the Prize. You use it on your turn, and at the start of your turn, you view the top 3 Tongue Twisters and replace them in any order within 5 seconds. You have Second Wind. You use it on your turn to reread a Tongue Twister that you just failed. Underdog. Choose a player with a higher score than you to discard one of their game points. Stolen Glory. Steal a twist card that another player earned this turn. What a Ripoff. Use after you fail a Tongue Twister, score the game point, but do not take any twist cards this turn. That one's pretty awesome, actually. Nope. Before reading your Tongue Twister, discard it and draw a new one. Active twist cards still apply. And finally, Interception. Choose a twist card that has been played against you this turn. It has no effect and becomes your card. So that's really the game. We're going to keep going around, drawing twist cards, Tongue Twister cards, trying to say them as perfectly and succinctly as fastly as possible in order to get points and possibly twist cards. The first person to get to 10 points is the winner, although you could easily play to a different threshold if you want, or make the deck smaller however you want. The game is a little bit customizable in that regard. So let's get to my final thoughts. Now, there are a lot of party games out there that have people come together and do kind of ridiculous things and just laugh about it and have a good time. And Twistosity is certainly a game that is in that vein, but at the same time it does some things that are sort of new and unique in the sense that it's really testing people's ability to speak. The first time that you sit down and play the game, you're probably going to draw a card and just completely flub it because if you're coming to it fresh, you're not going to know what to expect, and you're not going to have your brain and your mouth connected to your brain trained in the way to say these things efficiently. And certainly some cards are harder than others. But once you get into the game and do a few rounds, you're really going to sort of train yourself into getting ready and primed to draw a card like, okay, I'm ready, and say the card as quickly as possible, and you get better at it as you go along. So the game sort of rewards you for getting better at this technique, even though at the same time it is a party game that is supposed to not be taken that seriously. It is just for fun. Having said that, however, there are some other unique aspects to it that sort of make it rise above what you would typically expect out of a light party card game, especially those action cards, the twist cards, which can either be the action cards or the persona cards. And I like the idea that you, even if you fail in a tongue twister, you still get a twist card. So you are still involved in the game. You still have a chance to use something on a later turn in order to make either benefit yourself or to set someone who's winning back. The persona cards add an interesting aspect in the sense that mostly you're going to do this on other people, and you're going to make them say something in a silly manner, which has the twofold benefit of both tripping them up a bit and making things harder for them, but also is contributing to the group fun. And you're really forcing people to step out of their comfort zone and talk in these ridiculous ways, and just like you're underwater or whatever it might be, talking in a high-pitched voice, and just so it's a twofold benefit. At the same time, you have these action cards, which are just going to help you sort of get ahead. You might be able to knock another player back or increase your chances of getting better cards and increasing your capability of winning. So there's a bit of depth there that is surprising. And overall, I would say that this is the kind of game that is not just going to appeal to people that like these type of party card games like Cards Against Humanity, things like that, while at the same time it's much more family friendly than a game like Cards Against Humanity. But this is also a game that is good for bringing people out of their shell. People that are not really used to public speaking or saying things in a funny and fast manner. This is the type of game that, because it's so lighthearted and because the pressure, even though there's some pressure, it's really kind of low. This is the kind of game that people can really get into and sort of get out of their comfort zone, like I said earlier. So if that's the kind of game that you're looking for, I think that this might be right up your alley. And if you are interested in backing the game, it's currently running on Kickstarter. Like I said, you can follow the link at the bottom of your screen and also down in the comments section. That's Twistosity from designer Michael Keeley and his company, Mass Middle Games. My name is Nick, this has been Board Game Brawl, and I'm reminding you to get out there and game every day and in every way. Take care.